That was a great text. I love that.
That was a wonderful book.
Definitely
Yeah,
was
that was
nice.
good. That was
Okay.
good.
Really good.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
very
definitely considering.
I agree. That was awesome.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. So, like I said before, we've got a lot of voices, and just to use our time well, and to be able to hear what everyone has to say, I'd love to hear from you the different definitions of home that you heard. Start there. What are some of the different definitions of home that you heard in that conversation? And just raise your hand and I'll call on you. Valid? Go ahead.
One of them was home was where your family is or friends.
Home is where your family and friends are. Thank you. How about you, Rowan?
I mean, what a basic and kind of ironic and boring answer I give, but just about somewhere where I am comfortable with myself and comfortable with what I'm doing, or just where I'm happy, because that's the kind of environment I demand in a home. It it doesn't just have to be that your family is there, or it just doesn't have to be where it's where you sleep. Maybe it's more or less where I'm most comfortable being myself and being able to pursue the things I want to pursue. But
beautiful. You're reminding me of at least one of the definitions, and that is it's a place you choose. How about you, May?
The different definitions of home that I heard and remembered were that
Give us one. Give us one.
that it's more like for some people in the story, it's an emotional thing.
Home is an emotional thing. A lot of the definition had like an emotional component.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like instead of it having a physical component, it's more emotional.
So home doesn't have to be a physical place.
No.
Cool. Thank you. Anissa.
One of the topics I've heard about what home is basically how home is a place where you have pleasant memories.
Super.
I guess I agree with that, so that's why I said it.
Super. Thank you. Manta Ray.
I feel like that a home is a place where you belong.
Where you have a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Gray.
What everyone else said, and also home is where you feel welcome, where you feel comfort in being.
Where you feel comfort, where you feel welcome. Thank you. Sam, what definitions in the story did you hear? Pick one.
I would probably think that home is where your roots are, where you were born, you were raised. But my personal thinking, I think home is where you feel you're safest, where you think that you are safe from outsider reality, and that you will feel safe in doing whatever you want and just being yourself.
Someplace you feel safe enough to be yourself. Thank you. Ruth, go ahead.
basically what Sam said, and also where you feel happy and comfortable doing things in.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ruth. JJ.
So the two that stuck out to me most that I actually heard in the text were where you have memories and history of life, and your family, the people you love most, or where your family, the people you love most are. And my sort of synthesis of that is the place you feel your dreams and community nest at the moment, or just, whenever.
The place in community where you form your dreams. I love that. That's gorgeous. Anna.
One of the characters said where your bed is, and I sort of think it's sort of emotionally where your friends and family live.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and where you feel needed.
where you feel needed. Thank you, Anna. Emilio, go ahead.
I feel like a home is where you're comfortable to reach out, like you're not in a clam.
A home is a place where you feel comfortable to reach out. Do you feel comfortable to reach out at TSC?
Yeah, totally.
Super. Thanks. Elon.
I like the home is where your bed is.
Yeah.
Not or just the bed you sleep in, but your bed. Yours in
Your
particular.
There's a sense of ownership there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to like the you're your own home if you have nothing left.
You are your own home. Beautiful. Savannah.
I feel like home being on the road is a really interesting concept, and I find that one interesting, but it can be anywhere.
Being at home on the road. Beautiful. Thank you. Schutzer.
I have a lot of thoughts on this that I won't say right now because we want to get through people, but a home being where you can practice your culture and not necessarily where it originated.
So you sort of bring your home to where you are in terms of culture.
Yeah.
Thank you. Silas.
I really thought that like where you choose to live is your home. It's really was like that's what I was thinking.
So you can't separate home from choice.
I think you can sometimes, but I think the majority of times that would be the closest definition. I don't know. I don't think there's like a perfect definition that fits in every case.
It's a complex idea, isn't it? Thanks, Silas. Charlotte.
Much like Sam said, I got home is your safe place and where you feel protected and like needed and wanted and like you really belong.
Beautiful. Thank you. Gus.
I believe that your home would be where you feel comfortable and happy, and then also be able to do stuff that you want to do, like that you're interested in. So not like if you're like working someplace and you also live there, I would not count that to be your home unless you like it. But for me, just being comfortable and doing stuff that you want to do.
Thank you. Michaela.
I would probably say one of the things that stood out to me is how everyone was talking about how their homes made them feel. So I would say that a home is a place where you feel really any emotion, but really, really strongly. And usually any place that you feel like happy, really, really strongly, like content.
Thank you. Malachi.
One of the definitions I picked up was that the person has many homes. But for me, I think homes would be like more where you are most comfortable in, be able to be a true self.
Thank you. Be your true self. Interesting. Muhammad.
Home is where you feel safe.
Home is where you feel safe. Micah.
I like the part when it said, a house isn't a home until someone wants to live there.
Huh. Thank you. Gabrielle.
I liked the part where it said, I am my own home, because I kind of view that as everywhere is my home and I'm comfortable everywhere.
Thank you. Clara.
I noticed a lot in the reading. It said you choose where your home is. You choose your house, and that becomes a home. And wherever you choose that home, you you plant your roots down in there, and that becomes your home. And you gain trust not only in the place that you are, but in the home.
Thank you. Cassette.
Home is not just a house. It's where you can store your memories.
Places where you store your memories. Thank you. Michael.
I agree with whoever said home is where you feel safe, but I also feel like home is like where you feel like where you're with your family, and it doesn't even have to be like your biological family, but like what family is like family to you. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. I do know what you mean. Thank you. Ollie.
Yeah, I just wrote home is not a place, but home is a people, the people that you want to surround yourself with. Just something I picked up from the text.
Thank you. Soli.
I think that home definitely has to be a choice to live there. Home is when you know you belong, and like Charlotte said, it's a safe space.
Thank you, Soli. Faith.
I found it very beautiful when it said like you choose where your home is and you choose who you find your home to be, who you surround yourself with, even if it's just yourself.
Thank you so much. Wow. That's awesome, guys. That was a lot of response. And I think you basically covered most of the definitions I heard from the text.
JJ has her hand up, by the way.
In the, just hold on a second, JJ. So we've got about 50 minutes left, and I wanted to bring us back to this question of, is TSC a home, or can it be a home? If it's not a home, is there some way we can make it a home? For those of you who have been at TSC for a while, what of these definitions seem to relate to TSC as a home? So that's one question I want us to tackle in the next, before we break at the top of the hour. And I also want you to be thinking about how TSC, even though it's a virtual space or place, you can think of where you are as your TSC campus. I think there were a lot of clues about this that Karen gave us. And even in the conversation we just heard that Christopher Phillips facilitated, there was this sort of expansive sense of home, that your home wasn't just your house. It may extend out into your neighborhood, into your community, into maybe the city you live in. I like to think of my academic home as having that three-dimensionality to it, if you will, as a place I can go explore. And maybe at some point, some of you who are my students will get a chance to explore with me. I'll show you my home. I'll show you Guatemala City. I'll show you some of the interesting things that are on my campus, if you will. There are interesting museums. There are, fascinating architecture. There are ruins. There's history. There's all kinds of things to explore. And when I think about that as being my campus, and that I can explore that and then share what I'm learning on campus with my fellow co-learners, with you all, it gives me a much richer sense of what it means to be a TSC. And so I want to invite you to think about that larger sense of TSC. It incorporates where you are, and we can be thinking about how to, maybe with your guides, they're going to help you think about how to make use of your campus, the campus that's surrounding you, and discover what's around you as a campus. So I'll just sort of put those two sort of broad questions out there. How is TSC like a home, an academic home? And how can we think of that academic home as a campus right where we are? JJ, we'll start with you.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I should be going right now. I don't have a coherent thought related to that at the moment.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Satori.
I think what I got from the book most is that a home you have to choose. I've lived in many places, and the only ones that I felt at home in were the ones that I chose, or at least wanted to be in. And I don't have to be at TSC. I choose to be here, and I want to be here every day. And I think that making that choice daily is what makes it feel like a home, that and the fact that I feel comfortable here.
Beautiful. I love the fact that you said you make that choice daily. That's awesome. Nathan.
I would say the reason why I find
TSC my home is because I always find myself being myself when sometimes in my own house, I sometimes just act differently. And I feel like this is kind of like a perfect space for me because I don't have to act in any different way than I regularly do.
I'm so glad to hear that, Nathan. So home is a place you can be very authentic. Faith, go ahead.
Yeah. One of the definitions in the text was home is where I guess the people that you surround yourself, your friends are. And we do have a lot of community here at TSC. I mean, right now there's 104 people from all across the world in this Zoom room, and we all have a connection through TSC, and that's how I find it to be a home.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to at some point get like a virtual world map and put pins where we all are, just to have a real visual of what our community looks like globally. I wish I could do it with, there's some way to do it with Google Earth. You know, it'd be really fun to like click on any of your names and Google Earth will just take us to the spot on the planet where you are. That'd be fun. Raheen.
That sounds incredibly dangerous.
Raheen,
That's
go
kind
ahead.
of creepy.
Yeah. So basically I've been at TC for 2 years and a lot of my life's changed. And I think the moment that I realized that TSC was like a family to me, pretty much at the beginning it was like, really good friends, really good guides. It was back when I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And everyone was like so supportive and I just felt like, hey, so these are all people that are like family, although they're like miles away. Like thousands of miles away because I live in Pakistan. But everyone was just so friendly over here. So I think home is not just like a house that's friendly and stuff like that, but I think home can be a person. A home is anything or anyone or just anything in existence that makes you feel comfortable. And I think everyone at TSC has, cultivated such a beautiful community that it's very home. So yeah.
I'm so grateful that you feel that way, Raheen. Savannah, go ahead.
Two things I thought were interesting in the text was the place to choose to live, but also where you have memories. And I think those two kind of come together, that TSC, you have to make the choice daily, like Satori was saying, and then you'll build the memories and it becomes a home. So, at first right now it's kind of a house, but once you get memories developed and culture developed, then it becomes a home.
So home evolves.
And
so
it's
if you're new at TSC, you've got something to look forward to, that evolution of home. Thanks, Savannah. Great.
Even though it's like my first year at TSC, I already love it, and it already kind of feels like home because everyone's always so welcoming. Everyone, I never have to be afraid of saying something and being judged about it. I can just I don't remember, I think it was Nathan who said it. I can just be myself here.
Beautiful. Thank you, Gray. JJ, go ahead.
I think of TSC as a home because it is the place where my people are and my dreams are. Like it's a place to interact with the people who are my people, and it's a place to develop our dreams together. And that sounds a lot like one of the definitions of home that I liked most from the text.
I'm glad to be one of your people, JJ. Gus.
I like to think of TSC as a home just because people, like in a home, people would support you and they'd hear your voice. And I noticed that that's one of the big things that TSC does. So you can ask anyone, and most likely they'll try to help you with whatever you're trying to do to the best of their ability. So that's how I feel like academic home would be like.
Wonderful. I'm so grateful you feel that way, Gus. Thanks. Malachi.
I think of TSC more as a community than a home because we are sharing experiences, we are making connections. I know me personally, I have made multiple friends through TSC, and I think the kind of like the after school activities, they really open up a mind to do something different, try and get out of your comfort zone. So that's why I really like TSC.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that larger description of home as community, right? Beautiful. Manare.
I find TSC a home because of all the kids that I've made memories with and just the children themselves. Because I've been here for maybe like a year and a half. This is my second year, and last year, I joined a little bit late. Although I feel like that in TSC there's like different homes, and it's like and like all the different cohorts are different homes, which meant that sadly that meant last year I had to move homes because the cohorts changed. But that's why I think this is a home because of all the kids I know.
Wow, I can really relate to that, Manare. And I love that idea that your cohort is going to become like a academic home. Totally relate. Soli.
I think that home is a homing radar. It's where you feel like you need to go until you're there. And ever since I joined TSC and I met a lot of really nice people and I had adventures through conversations with each of you, I really felt like it's somewhere I just had to go.
So home is calling you. It's a place that calls you back. Love it. Clara.
I feel like at TSC, I'll be able to connect with not only just the students, but the teachers. I can always think of them as friends and people who will know me and who will uh, just connect with me so easily. And I can get their numbers and text with them. I can talk with them separately. I can talk with them about the subjects that we are on. And I just feel like at TSC, we can be accepted and everybody can be like, we're here for you. We can talk to you and we don't care if there's this happening or that happening. We can just still connect with you the same way we have.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Clara. Brody.
It's going to be my first year at TSC, and I already feel like I'm very welcomed, and the atmosphere feels great here, and the communication is very strong.
Beautiful. Well, welcome home. Nathan.
Yeah, I thought of another thing on why I consider TSC a home, and it gives me the ability to just disentangle from. It gives me a place where I can disentangle from all of the craziness that's happening outside of behind there. So
Wonderful.
Very nice.
And I love a reference to disentangle. One of my favorites.
Nathan said it. He said disentangle. He said the funny word. Oh my God.
Okay. I was pretty excited.
Of the blast doors.
Let's we only have 2 minutes left, and I'd like to invite Karen and Pilile and wasn't Luis here, or did he do? Oh yeah, you are here. Maybe some of the other members of our community that are here as guides. Did this resonate with you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cliff.
Yeah, I think well, it's something a distinction Malachi made between home and community. I thought was particularly resonant and helpfully surprising. I would make this a distinction too. A community is definitely a group of people where that has a lot of the same traits we were talking about with the definition of home, a place where you're comfortable or feel safe anyway. and you can be yourself, but it's also, you know, a community is also a place where I'm not always 100% comfortable all the time. You know, I have friends that push me or help me think through difficult things, and maybe home is a little more small. Maybe it's a little more small and private than that. I'm not sure yet. I have to keep thinking about it.
And to be fair, you're new here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So this is still a house, perhaps.
Maybe for now.
Yeah, I also resonated a lot with what all of you guys have been saying. I don't have much to add other than what's very interesting to me is how the self comes up a lot. And I keep thinking of home as a place where you come to meet the self, where the self meets the self, and you find an I. That's what I wrote, and I'm still fleshing it out, but it makes sense to me that with all that comes with it, sometimes you might think that a place is a home, and you find that you come back to it, and it's not the same thing. I've had that experience because I'm from Guatemala, where Bert is and Nixon is, from Guatemala City, and I moved 7 years ago. And not that coming back wasn't home, but it's interesting to come back and see how things have changed and how you have changed, right? And now I have two homes, at least that I can mention very directly spatially, or three with TSC. So it's like it stretches as you grow and develop, and the self just becomes many more things. So that's where my mind is at.
Thank you, Luis. So that's a beautiful note to end on. It is 101, actually. Home is where you discover yourself. I love that. All right, guys, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for all of your participation and ideas.